Good day, everyone. Welcome to Morning Sip with Red Melissa. I am Red Melissa. SIP stands for Spirit in Practice, where we practice because practice makes progress. Yes, it does. So, welcome to today's show. I hope everyone is doing well. We started a new series yesterday, and the series is Being is Having. Being is Having. And this series is inspired by two things: kitchens and a new book that I'm reading called Learn to Trust Yourself by Tama Kieves. And it's a book that I'm reading with a group of folks. And I shared yesterday that when I was in Laguna Beach last week, that my friend lives in this beautiful home with this beautiful kitchen that overlooks the Pacific Ocean. The view is the Pacific Ocean. The kitchen is a kitchen that could be on HGTV or Architectural Digest. It's beautiful. And I shared how much I have been holding my kitchen at a distance from myself, how I've felt about my kitchen. So notice I'm using it in the past tense because I decided that I need to shift my perspective. I need to shift the way that I'm holding, in this example, my kitchen away from me, right? And instead of focusing on what I am grateful for about my kitchen, even though it's not the kitchen of my dreams, I have a kitchen. And that is something to be grateful for. And so that led me, as I was reading this book, to something that Tama Kieves writes that I shared yesterday. She said, "A life of empowerment teaches us that being is having. Being is having." And so we know this, right? We know this. And so part of the aspect of the being is having is not waiting until you get something that you desire before you have the experience or have the feeling of what it is that you want to feel. And so we know this. We know this as the law of mental equivalence. We know this as the law of thought and thinking. We know this as the law of mind. We know that we are creative beings. We know this. And yet, and yet, I was having this experience of myself really disliking my kitchen. So let me tell y'all what happened yesterday. So we did the show. I shared about the kitchen and shared about being is having. Being joy is who I am, is who I get to be. That is the getting that I get, is the joy, right? So last night after I finished work, I turned on the television. And lately I've been watching an old show that is a design show that stars Nat Burkus and his husband Jeremiah Brent. They are the cutest couple, Nate and Jeremiah. And Nate, you may know him from being Oprah Winfrey's designer back in the day. He was on her show a number of times. I think he even had a show on ABC. Well, now he's married to this cutie pie named Jeremiah, and they have had several designing shows together. And I just discovered one of their old shows called Save My House, right? So I've been watching it. And it's a really cute show. I love design shows. And almost every episode, Jeremiah's crying and I'm crying because it's just wonderful. So yes, last night I said I'm gonna watch one episode. And guess what the episode is about? It's a black couple, and the woman hates her kitchen. She hates her kitchen so much that she won't even set foot in the kitchen. I'm not exaggerating. Her husband shared that he does all the cooking. I think they had one or two, I think they had two children, a toddler and one that was maybe 5 or 6 years old, maybe a little older. They eat, the three of them, the husband and their two children, eat in the kitchen without her because she refuses to go in the kitchen. He'll bring her stuff from the kitchen. So he's a part of this craziness as well. Because he brings the stuff in the kitchen, but she refuses to go in the kitchen because she dislikes the kitchen that much. She also has a little germaphobe issue, but that's a whole nother thing. The point is that I'm sharing with y'all about my dislike for my kitchen and this aha that I got about the whole situation. And then I go and watch this show. And what is it about? A woman, not just a woman, but a black woman who dislikes her kitchen to the point that she won't even step foot in it. And I've shared in the past that I know I would probably cook more if I liked my kitchen. I probably would. I don't really cook that much. Marco does most of the cooking. And one of the reasons why for me is because I don't like my kitchen. So I was just like, thank you, universe, for the comedy in all of this because I was like, this woman is ridiculous. And I'm like, girl, you have some aspect of that ridiculousness too, with how you were holding your kitchen as well. And so instead of focusing on what I don't have, I get to focus on what I do have, right? We talk about gratitude all the time. So I get to be grateful. I get to be grateful about what I have, including this kitchen, just as it is. Now, that doesn't mean that I all of a sudden stop desiring a new kitchen. I still desire a new kitchen, but it's the feeling tone that I'm holding about it that I needed to shift. So we could drop in any example. The example that I'm sharing that's real for me is my kitchen. But I know there are other examples that probably resonates with you when you look at your life and you look at the things that you desire and how you're holding them now. So we are holding it in the beingness of who we are now. I am joy now. Not when I get a kitchen. Now. Now. I am peace now. Not when I have the relationship of my dreams, as another example. I am peace now. That way I am attracting more peace to myself. A peaceful relationship. How about that? So I want to share a little bit more with you from the book, Learn to Trust Yourself by Tama Kieves. One of the things that she says is, you're in process, but you can be whole and in process at the same time. We can be whole and in process at the same time, right? I can desire this kitchen and know that I am joy at the same time. So we each get to make this choice for ourselves in the beingness as having who we are being right here and right now. The other thing I want to share with you that she writes is, this is my freedom stance, and maybe it speaks to you. I will love the life I have while I continue to create even more of the life I desire. And then I wrote in parentheses right next to that, I love the kitchen I have now, even as I continue to create the kitchen that I desire in consciousness. So we get to do that. What are you dreaming? No. Today's question is, are you too busy getting? Are you too busy getting? And so we're practicing being in the having now. What is the being that you're being? You are being your quality now. That quality that we made a commitment to experiencing, embodying, and expressing more fully this year. We get to do that now. So I was looking at my qualities last night, and one of my qualities for 2025 is order. And so I thought about that. I said, okay, how can I apply order to my kitchen, the current kitchen that I have? And at the same time, how can I apply order in my imagination about the kitchen of my desire, right? Because remember, we could be in process and whole at the same time. So when I thought about order for my kitchen right now, the thing that came to mind is, you know how you get Tupperware or those plastic containers from takeout, and over time, you lose some of the tops. I don't know where those tops go to. I imagine they're somewhere having a party with that one sock that got lost when you did your laundry, because they just disappear. So something that I could do that resonates with the energy of order is to get rid of all of that, to get rid of anything that is not useful in my kitchen. So periodically, I do a purge of things, especially plastic containers. I like to use glass containers, but somehow, some way, these plastic, especially the takeout ones, find themselves in our cabinets. So that's what I'm going to do this week. I'm going to go through the bottom cabinets where I keep all of the containers and throw out the ones. First of all, I'm throwing out all the plastic ones. Secondly, I'm throwing out anything that doesn't have a top. I'm just going to throw it away because I am being order. I am being order. All right. All right. So let me know what you're going to do in your being as having. And that helps us to shift our focus from the getting. All right, y'all. So we're going to get into some joy news real quick. Today's going to be a quick sip because I have an appointment. But I want to remind everyone that today is our community cafe. On the third Wednesday of the month, we focus on self-care. And doesn't that marry itself beautifully with being as having? So join us tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. The Zoom link is rocklandcsl.org. You could go to our website for the Zoom link. And it's all about us just sharing in a loving space, whatever's up for your own mental wellness, for your own support. You get to experience support with company. So join us this evening, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It is facilitated by one of the practitioners at Rockland CSL. Also, I wanted to make sure that you are aware, I've been sharing that we have a new class and it starts tomorrow. I've been talking about it for a while and now we are here. It is an 8-week course, Self-Mastery, Emergence of the True Self, and it is an opportunity to deepen your spiritual practices, to deepen spiritual principles, to remove blockages and obstacles within ourselves that limit our expression. So we are connecting with the higher self within ourselves to master that little s. Yes? So you can still register for the class. Go to, again, rocklandcsl.org. All of the information is there under classes, including the link to register. So it starts tomorrow, 7 p.m. East, not 7. Tomorrow, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The cost is $240. And if you need to make a payment plan, that is absolutely doable. If you have any questions, just send me a direct message and I will respond to you. All right. So those are the two things I wanted to share today that was happening soon. Tonight's Community Cafe, 7 p.m. Tomorrow, the first class starts for Self-Mastery. I will see you all tomorrow for another episode of Morning Sip with Rev Melissa. I am an ordained interfaith minister and spiritual life coach. You can reach out to me to talk about your life, what is going on, what you desire to have going on, and we can go from there. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings, peace and justice. We are living life in joy, connected to our yes.